Good afternoon, and welcome to Stanford University. I'm Dean Tiffany Steinwert, and on behalf of the entire university community, I welcome you to this year's Convocation. As is our tradition at every university gathering, we begin by recognizing the land on which we stand. It is my privilege now to introduce co-term student Juju Hallam, class of 20 and 21.
We recognize that Stanford sits on the ancestral and unceded land of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. This land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people. Consistent with our values of community and diversity, we have a responsibility to acknowledge, honor, and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples.
We gather this afternoon, together from a distance, to celebrate Convocation. It is an annual tradition, a coming together of the university to celebrate our incoming students as we mark the beginning of a new academic year. Yet this year is simply different. Instead of being nestled together here on the quad, we find ourselves zooming in from all around the globe. If we were together, here under the shadow of Memchu, I would invite you to look around, as I do every year, to turn right and left, forward and backward, to take in the beauty of what Stanford really is. Not the sandstone, but each and every one of us. And while we can't do that, at least not yet, I invite you to imagine it in your mind's eye, to imagine the community forming even now across cyberspace, classmates with whom you will sojourn, faculty and staff who will accompany you, and your friends and family who have encouraged you all along the way. When you arrive, and you will, we will gather right here on the quad, and we will look around right and left, forward and backward, and we will bask in the glory and beauty that is Stanford, that is each and every one of us. For together, we are Stanford. Until then, hear now these words of blessing. In the midst of a year like none other, may we pause to breathe and simply be. May we recall the unabashed love of learning, born of curiosity and wonder, that has carried us thus far. May we explore new ideas and uncharted disciplines, understanding the power of education wielded with responsibility to change the world. May we cultivate compassionate and diverse communities of belonging to nurture and nudge, inspire and embolden. And may we face the challenges of today with the faith of a tomorrow yet to come, allowing this crucible of crisis to refine and reveal our collective callings as we forge lives of meaning and purpose. We may be physically distant, but together, wherever we are Stanford.
I am Richard Shaw, Dean of Undergraduate Admission and Financial Aid at Stanford. Good afternoon. I want to begin by extending my warmest welcome to the class of 2024 and new transfer students, and to the family, friends, and loved ones here with you today. Wherever you are in the world, my staff and I are as eager to celebrate and welcome you as we were on the day we admitted you. Your applications were inspiring and humbling, and your potential to thrive at Stanford so strong. Every year, Convocation, I am reminded that I have the best job in the world, one that allows me and my colleagues to get to know you and invite you to be part of this vibrant community. And I'm so thrilled that you are here. Let me tell you more about who you are as a class. You are joining us from all 50 states and 55 different countries, from Australia and Austria to Vietnam and Zimbabwe. 52% of you are women and 48% men. You come from 1,234 high schools, and you are transferring in from 59 colleges. 10% of you are international citizens, and you speak 63 unique languages in addition to English. 20% of you are among the first in your families to attend a four-year university. There are 10 military veterans among you, and we salute you. This incoming class inspires me because what defines and unites you is that you are bold and you are brave. The letters from those who wrote on your behalf are testament to these qualities. The following words come directly from your teachers and your counselors. They wrote that you have a passion for learning that is very, very rare, that your drive and motivation are unparalleled, that your zeal is inspirational to everyone, that you are incredibly willing to hear difficult truths, that you are outspoken and a critical thinker, an absolute force of nature. We already knew from this testimony that this pandemic was not going to stop you. For the class of 2024 and transfers, this beginning at Stanford is a touchstone. It is a measure of your dreams and the conviction that nothing can stop you from realizing them. One of you wrote in your application about a memory that symbolically captures the boldness and fierce determination of this class. You were young and you heard from the very first time the traditional form of Japanese drumming called taiko. You described thunder and cracking, opening the sky, and the resonant sound made deeper by rhythmic hits. The adrenaline rush and the sense of awe, power enthralled you. I too wanted to wield thunder, you wrote, evoking the passion, strength, and resolute spirit that defined this class so completely. On the eve of your time at Stanford, you are facing many challenges you did not choose. And yet, here you are, bold, brave, resilient, unstoppable, ready for your Stanford adventure to begin. Go Stanford, go Cardinal, and welcome. I now, as it is tradition, pass the class of 2024 to Sarah Elizabeth Church, the Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education and Professor of Physics.
Thank you, Dean Shaw, for delivering this wonderful class. As the Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education, and on behalf of the Stanford administration, faculty, and staff, I am delighted to accept the transfer students of the class of 2022 and 2023 and the Frosh class of 2024 into Stanford University. You can't see your classmates, but they are watching as well. While you are separated for the time being, you will be forever connected by the resilience and persistence that you are showing by meeting this moment. Wherever you may be in the nation or world, Stanford University is your home now too. I wanted so much to have the opportunity to welcome all of you and your loved ones in person. But I know that opportunity will come, and hopefully soon. But for now, I offer you greetings and a collective welcome on behalf of faculty and staff who are eager to meet you, to teach you, to support you, to collaborate with you, to learn from you, and to celebrate your contributions and accomplishments along the way. You will be joining one another on Stanford's campus in due course, perhaps biking through Meyer Green where I'm standing, grabbing a coffee nearby at Cooper, hanging out by the Red Loop Fountain, or joining a study group at Green Library. There is so much to look forward to. But by joining this community at this time, you're signaling that you and your family recognize the greatest value of a Stanford education will be discovered in the many courses that will challenge and excite you, and in the relationships that you will form with faculty and staff mentors and with one another. Whether that happens to be on White Plaza in the not too distant future, or in a Zoom breakout room this autumn quarter. So many of us have been working hard to make sure that you have opportunities to make those connections quickly, to help you feel part of this community. Faculty, instructors, and staff are working diligently to make sure that your first year at Stanford is instructive, collaborative, meaningful, and memorable, even from afar. Now, you will hear this often, and you should, because it remains true. You belong at Stanford. You were selected to join this special community of scholars because it's very clear you have much to offer in the classroom, working on a research project, within a service experience, leading a student organization. The list continues. And while you may understandably be excited that Stanford chose you, so many of us are excited that you chose us. You selected Stanford in part because of the extraordinary liberal education it offers, one designed to help you think critically, challenge your assumptions, and to offer you the space to stretch yourself and explore new intellectual terrain. All starting today. Speaking as a faculty member, I hope you will invite us to come along on your academic journey. Ask questions. We love questions. Share your ideas, or even your worries. While Stanford's courses are designed to challenge you, we care first and foremost about you and your well-being. There may in fact come a time when you encounter academic challenges. Truly, this happens to almost all of us, including me when I was in your position. Be kind to yourselves in these moments and realize that there are resources in place to help support you. Do not hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you get through any challenge you may face along the way. I'd like to turn for a moment to address our Stanford parents, families, and loved ones watching whose student is still nearby. You have looked forward to this day for a long time too. Many of you will have imagined dropping off your child at college to start a new chapter, helping your student get settled in a dorm room, and meeting a new frosh roommate. We understand that this crisis has called for sacrifices from you too. Your role for all or part of this year will be different for sure. But along this early pathway, hopefully you will find moments to treasure. You see, your student will begin to blossom as a college student right before your very eyes. You will get to hear about their favorite courses over family dinners. Their transformation will begin in full view, something parents and families often miss when just a phone call away. Even though there is much to be missed in our current situation, I hope you will relish these moments as you watch something special happen. Something I get to see as a faculty member and now as Vice Provost. And so it begins. Turning back to our frosh and transfers, I have some early words of advice as you move through the weeks and months ahead. Pace yourselves. One of the best gifts you can give yourself and others is your time. Use it to explore, be curious. Take every opportunity to reflect on what and who you care about as you embrace this incredible journey. And most of all, breathe. That last part goes for our families and loved ones too. And so with that, be well, be safe, and I look forward to connecting with you virtually or in person soon.
Welcome to Stanford University. My name is Mona Hicks. I'm the Senior Associate Vice Provost and Dean of Students, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. Again, welcome. I want to recognize and acknowledge the incredible circumstances we are all in today and in this moment. All over the world, you and the support around you worked and prayed and encouraged you to arrive to this moment. You have earned your shine. And at the same time, because of this moment, 2020 has brought a heavy reflection upon us that I urge you to capitalize on. That same spark that drew you to Stanford now shines for a different purpose. It calls you now to something deeper. Not what you plan to major in, or what industry or field are you going into. It ignites asking, what is your calling? What is your calling? I was lucky enough in college to find this answer. It's my destiny to help young people find theirs. But I had to work. I had to struggle. I had to try new things, and I had to fail at them to find it. What is your calling? It is out there for you, and it becomes the things that you experience that stays with you, inspires you, catalyzes you to learn more and ask more questions. Not just for asking's sake, but to fill the space within you that is only quenched by that continued fire. We at Stanford are committed to helping you find your calling because we are committed to what we call our most important work. Co-creating spaces and systems that ensure students have equitable access to opportunity, fostering experiences and environments that ensure that every student feels a firm and abiding sense of belonging, developing conditions that support students' ability to be engaged and powerful learners, and, if we're lucky, enhancing opportunities for students to engage in purposeful learning outside of the classroom that is mutually enhanced in the classroom. It is in those ways that we believe, and I believe, that your calling may be ignited and inspired. But today, as human beings, we extend our hand to you with collective responsibility, community, and care. You are a Stanford Cardinal now. You are meant to be in this community in this moment. Each of us make our world better, and we hope together we can be empowered to make it a bit safer too. You are entering a new academic journey during a pivotal time in our world, and we will take it one step at a time together, and we will step into that calling together. Congressman John Lewis once said, "We may not have chosen the time, but the time has chosen us. It has chosen you. Step into your greatness. Step into your calling." We're right here with you on the farm. More connects us than divides us, even now when we may be apart. With you, we can find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe. We will shine the light toward your calling. Let your light shine. Again, welcome to Stanford.
Xin chào quý vị. My name is Viana Vo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the daughter of Vietnamese refugees. Now, this is normally the part where I reminisce about sitting in those same seats 3 years ago, but as you can see, I'm standing here at work talking to a screen instead of a crowd. I want to acknowledge that this may be a bittersweet moment for you. It is for me. But I also know that today you're joining Stanford, our newest cohort. Stanford has been so much more than just a college to me. It's been a place I call home. When I first came here 3 years ago, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I would major in human biology, take the MCAT, go to med school. I had a neat, color-coded 4-year plan of all the classes I would take. There's just so many opportunities here at Stanford, and I wanted to take advantage of all of that. Now, freshman year, it's all about exploring. I remember taking intro sems like conservation photography and what didn't make it into the Bible. Heck, I even tried archery and indoor rock climbing. And one fateful day in fall quarter, I remember biking through White Plaza, and this very determined upperclassman jumped in front of me and waved this neon yellow flyer, screaming, "Join Stanford Tycho." I was just like, whoa. But, sure, why not? So I did a 180 with a smooth drift, as you see in the movies, and I grabbed that flyer. Looking back, I am so glad that I decided to just audition for this group, even though I'd never heard of Tycho before. Because with Tycho, I found a group of people who would stand by me. Later that year, I was hospitalized and diagnosed with depression. I had been pushing myself so hard, and I felt that I needed to prove that I belonged at Stanford. To my friends in Tycho, Christine and Grace, you were the ones who recognized how much I was struggling and who walked with me to the hospital, and I thank you for that. For the longest time, I saw that moment as a low point, but now I see that it was a turning point. Because from then on, Tycho was not just some student org, they became my family. I had originally joined Tycho to just hit some drums, but instead I was gifted with my closest friends. With their unconditional support, I was able to regain my footing. In sophomore year, I joined ASSU, and I set my mind to changing the mental health conversation on campus. Before I knew it, 3 years had passed. My interests have changed, and I know now that advocacy is where my passion lies. While I do not have a neat color-coded plan for the next 4 years of my life, I have a much clearer sense of who I am and who I want to be. As you begin your Stanford journey, I hope that you give yourself the space to discover who you want to be, undefined by what you are doing. Be bold. Take that audition. I know it's going to be a little awkward to put yourself out there virtually, but hey, we're all in the same boat. And above all, don't be afraid to fail. Because I've found that in my failures are the greatest lessons. Welcome home, class of 2024 and transfers.
Good afternoon. I'm Stanford President Mark Tessier-Levine. To all of our incoming students and families, it's my honor to officially welcome you to Stanford today. Traditionally, Convocation takes place at the end of a long move-in day. In a normal year, we'd be gathered in person here on Stanford's main quad with Memorial Church behind you and your classmates all around you. Of course, this is anything but a normal year. You're beginning your university careers at a very challenging time. The coronavirus pandemic has deeply affected communities across our nation and our world, and of course here at Stanford. I know how difficult it is that most of you are beginning your Stanford journeys from a distance. I truly wish I were meeting you in person today, and I can assure you we can't wait to bring you to campus just as soon as possible. This afternoon, I'd like to share 3 thoughts with you about how you can make the most of your time at Stanford, including during this unusual fall quarter. The first thought I'd like to share is that I hope each of you uses your time at Stanford to explore, academically and in every part of your life. This is something that I believe is so important to new students that I bring it up every year at Convocation. Exploration will, of course, enrich your experience both here and throughout your life. But another reason exploration is so vital is that it will give you the skills you need to navigate a rapidly changing world. It's the best preparation for a lifetime of change. And COVID-19 has reinforced just how much the world can change in an instant. Your immediate reaction to this massive upheaval might be to put all of your focus into your pre-major studies, to narrow down, rather than to expand your horizons, to put off exploration to a later date. But I urge you to do the opposite. Now, more than ever, it's important to explore your interests broadly. Gaining knowledge and skills from a number of different fields is the best preparation for the world that will emerge when the pandemic recedes, and for the decades of change that we know will follow. When I talk about exploration, I mean a few different things. I certainly mean exploring in your coursework. Your undergraduate years give you the freedom and opportunity to try out a variety of fields, from international relations to mechanical engineering to literature to sociology to chemistry to so many other disciplines. In every department, you'll study with faculty who are world leaders in their fields and who are deeply devoted to your education. They've spent the summer developing creative approaches to remote teaching, which I am confident will help you make new discoveries and develop fresh perspectives this fall. But I hope you'll spend time exploring beyond your coursework too. There are so many ways to get involved. Stanford has more than 600 student-led organizations, many of which will be holding virtual events and offering creative ways to participate remotely. For example, this fall, the Ram's Head Theatrical Society will produce a Virtual Gaieties, our annual student-written musical extravaganza, a Stanford tradition dating back to 1911. The Haas Center for Public Service also has a list of ways to serve the community and contribute to causes you care about through remote action. And in this election year, Stanford students, faculty, and staff have come together to promote civil discourse and nonpartisan civic engagement. There are a number of ways to participate, from registering friends and family to vote, to joining civic organizations like the student-run Stanford in Government. I encourage all of you to get involved, and of course, everybody who is eligible should vote this November. The second thought I'd like to share is, despite the distance between us, take time to connect with your Stanford community right from the start. As you meet one another virtually and develop new friendships, I urge you to support and check in on one another, just as you would if you were here in person. I encourage you to connect with your instructors, your advisors, and your residential staff, who can help you take advantage of all the exciting things Stanford has to offer. They can help you with any challenges that arise too. Stanford also has health and well-being services which continue to operate remotely. You'll be hearing more about these over the next few days. We're deeply committed to your well-being, not just in this moment, but throughout your time at Stanford. And while right now we must be physically distant from one another, we can still build and sustain our relationships. Our campus is beautiful, but it's our community that makes Stanford so special. The final thought I'd like to share is, as you get to know each other this quarter, I hope you embrace this opportunity to learn from one another. For many of you, Stanford may be the most diverse community you've been a part of. It may be the most diverse community you will ever be a part of. Every one of our students brings a unique perspective and background. Each of you will enrich and energize our community. That means that this is an extraordinary opportunity to think critically about your own views and preconceptions and deepen your thinking about our society and our world. In addition, we've all heard the call for racial justice that's been ringing across our nation. We know how much more work remains to be done to improve equity in our nation and in our communities. That includes Stanford. While this has been an important part of our work for years, we're acting now with even greater urgency to create a more inclusive, accessible, diverse, and equitable university. We're partnering with our students, our faculty, and our staff on these issues, and you'll be hearing about several new initiatives tackling them this fall. At Stanford's 2019 commencement ceremony, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, urged our graduates to, quote, "Find the hope in the unexpected, find the courage in the challenge." His words were spoken well before COVID hit, but their relevance and importance are magnified by our current moment. This is an unexpected way to begin your college careers, and it has to be disappointing after all of your hard work to get here. But I encourage you to heed Tim Cook's advice, to have hope, to have courage, embrace your opportunities to explore, take the time to connect with, learn from, and support one another. And again, know that we're here to support you too. Before I close, I'd like to say a few words to the family members and friends who are watching today. I'm so pleased to welcome you to our Stanford family today as well. Thank you for your ongoing support for your student in this difficult time. And to our students, I'm so happy you've chosen to spend the next few years with us. I hope you find this quarter fulfilling as you connect with Stanford and with one another. I'm looking forward to the day when I see all of you here on the main quad. Until then, as you meet one another virtually and grow and learn together as a community this fall, each of you will be bringing Stanford to your corner of the world. Best of luck with your studies, and welcome to Stanford.
Deep and